Good afternoon, guys. Actually, and girls as well. I sold a Husqvarna to a lady recently. So, afternoon, everyone. This is a beautiful old saw which I'm selling from my collection. This is a Danarm 110, so 110 cc's. Beautiful British made saw. Not far from me either. Actually, it was made. The company were based in Stroud, in Gloucester, and they made some glorious big engine saws. So this one was, they started making the 110s, I believe, in 63, or variations of this one in 63, and then they did a couple of model updates. They did a DDA 110, a 110 manual, a 110 auto. I think the autos came out in 66 or somewhere around there. And so I'm going to show it running and idling. I'm not going to cut with it. I've never cut with this saw. It's just purely from my collection, just because it's, I love these old beautiful engine saws. And I'll show it restarting. But before I do that, I'm going to do a quick walk around with the camera so people can see the condition that she's in. Felling spikes. This is the oil tank at the front. And there's the actuation lever, which I'll show you in a second. Around the other side is for the manual pump. It's running a 22-inch solid nose guide bar. I think it's a 404 chain. The chain is in good condition. It's got a lot of life left. I've never sharpened it, and I've never cut with it, but it's, if that's what somebody's intention was, it's certainly plenty of life left in it. Original handle with the original rubber grip in great condition. So, pull start. Little break in the rubber handle, but it hasn't affected it starting, and it hasn't bothered me. It's the beautifully finished original fuel cap. Crazy to think that back then these bigger engines, because they were running mineral oils, and the way that they wouldn't mix particularly reliably, these were running a petrol oil mix of 16:1 back in the day. So, manual oil lever, original kill switch working with the original boot. Actually, some of you out there know a lot more about these older saws than me. Always wondered what was supposed to go on here. I've put a tiny piece of fuel tube over the end of this pin because it's a throttle lock, but because there's no return spring on it, sometimes when you're running it, if you throttle it, that will drop down and keep the throttle perhaps more open than you want with the chain running faster. So I put a piece of fuel tube on just so that it doesn't drop down unexpected, and then keeping the throttle open. Push that back down. Okay. Side cover. I shall show you inside, because I managed to buy what looked like a nearly new old stock filter for it, and it was hard to get sometimes. Some of the parts you might need. This is harder than I thought it was going to be, one-handed with this particular screw. Okay. Off. Very, very similar mechanism to holding this on to the Pioneer 650, which again has a front clip and then a single screw retainer at the back. Incredibly similar. And then inside there's the aluminium shroud, 2 location grommets on top, which the aluminium lid fits on. And pull that off as well. around. There she is, a beautiful, beautiful 110cc engine. Silencer in lovely condition. And there's a Tillotson HL172 carburettor, a B variation, so the adjustment screws, it might be a little bit difficult to see. The high and the low needle settings are on the back of the carburettor on this particular version of the Tillotson. I noticed there's a tiny crack here, just to point out everything as I kind of see it, and there's also, and in here it's hard to see, there's some insulating tape wrapped around the HT lead. I've never taken it off and it hasn't affected, or the engine seems to run really well, so I'll show you that now. And then if I turn it on its side, there's the foot plate so you can actually start the engine. It's the clutch housing with clutch shoes on the pads. They all look in good condition. Okay, and the one-piece fuel tank at the back, a welded fuel tank and handle. No brakes on the handle or the tank. Right, I'll set the camera back up. I'll quickly screw the top back on and I'll show this all running. Strange to think that some of these bigger engine saws have been cutting wood for 50 or 60 years and are still running so well. If you tried to do that in a motor car, and if you went back and picked up a car 60 years old and tried running it like some people run chainsaws, they just would not last. Okay, so kill switch, choke, compression, plenty of compression, choke off. Hope I wasn't too much out of video then. Perhaps I was running the saw slightly out of shot. So I hope that's clear. The engine seems to start nicely, and tiny bit hesitation low down, so I have no doubt the carburettor could do with a slight tune-up. And if somebody was going to cut with it, which I'm not going to cut with it, but if somebody does decide to cut, undoubtedly it needs setting up for cutting in the wood. And I'll show it on a restart quickly. Any questions, please just message. Anybody wants to come out and have a look at the saw, you're more than welcome. As far as I can tell, there's no none of the original screws are missing off the saw, and yeah, all the original screws look like they're intact and in place, and other than I've put on a replacement filter for it, the saw hasn't required anything at all. I did actually change one other piece actually before I forget, which is now seeing where I am in shot. That was normally a black fuel pipe in here, so I put some clear PVC pipe in just so I know myself when I run them is the carburetor priming. Kill switch, compression, oh, choke. So there she is, absolute thing of beauty. So she's up for sale for spares or repair. Any questions, please let me know, and thanks for watching. Bye for now.